Empty Garage. Hi. Hey, good evening, everybody. JG Pastor Jack here. Very special edition of Grassroots Motorsports Live. Not really an official edition. Just finishing up the install on the Blue Mini here. A set of Texas Speed and Performance 1 3/4 exhaust headers and X-pipe. And I thought, how fun would it be to share the first startup with you guys? And I wanted to record it anyway, so if I'm going to break out all the crap, you know, let's just go ahead and bring everybody along. So, I see a lot of our regulars here. I've got the mic on the camera, so I can put it behind the car and we can hear stuff. How somebody tell me how audio is, because I don't normally run with this mic. But in the meantime, let's take a quick tour of what we actually did over the past couple days. When I say we, I mean me, and when I say me, I mean I will never do this again as long as I live. Installing headers on this thing is a massive, gigantic pain in the ass, and I do not wish it on my worst enemy. And yes, I will never ever do it again. All right. So Greg's telling me audio sounds good. Okay, so let's take a quick tour from back to front. So I have good things to say about these headers. This is a set of 1 3/4 Texas Speed and Performance long tube headers. We did not run cats. This is, you know, scope creep like anything. Hang on, I'm gonna do the, there. I'm going to stop my phone from rotating. So, you know, scope creep affects everybody's project, and it certainly affected this one. When originally we sort of thought, hey, let's keep this thing street legal, and no, we don't care. But it's Florida, so you can really do anything you want in Florida anyway. So let's take a quick tour from the back to the front at these things, and then we'll get to the starting up, and hopefully it starts, because that'd be super embarrassing if it doesn't. Okay, so a little shaky here because I'm rolling across the floor. 3-inch primary tubes going all the way from the collectors to the back. This is stainless steel. This Texas Speed stuff comes with fairly nice hardware. You know, some aircraft style clampy clamps there, and everything fit together really well. I had to massage a couple of these slip joints before they joined together. Just, you know, probably being banged around in the warehouse and shipping and packing and whatnot. But overall, quality of the stuff really good, and the fit of the stuff is really good. And actually, I especially like the fit on the way they've done their O2 sensors. For whatever reason, just the positioning of the O2 sensors, it creates a lot, like a nice air gap between the wire and the headers. That can be a problem on some C5s, that the way the O2 sensors are positioned, you can't position the wires so they stay off of the headers. These are actually way off the headers, and I just used a couple of pipe clamps. Actually, you can see right here, just conduit clamps to keep. These are the extensions that Texas Speed provides. So I just use a couple of those to keep the wiring up and off of the tubes. And we got a nice big air gap all the way around the wiring back there. So I'm really happy with that. So let's move forward a little bit here, look at some of the clearance issues. So these, you know, any long tube header is going to be kind of a pain in the butt when it comes to clearance issues. And these are better than most, although this driver's side one was a massive, unbelievable pain in the ass to actually get into the car. What we ended up having to do to get this driver's side one in is disconnect the steering shaft, which you can maybe see up there a little bit. This is the steering shaft right here. So we had to disconnect the steering shaft. The steering shaft is, you know, it's essentially touching the driver's side header, and that's something we're gonna have to deal with. Let me see if I can get you guys a view of that. Alright. So, can you see? We'll zoom a little bit here and try and get that focus. We're too close, but can you see where the steering shaft is kind of polished a little bit? Right there. It's just kind of polished off a little bit. That is because it is touching the header. And long term, that is not going to be an ideal situation. And by long term, I mean like anything longer than, you know, the next couple of hours of run time. So that's something I'm going to have to deal with fairly immediately, and I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet, but I think it's going to involve taking the steering shaft back off and hitting it with a hammer, or squeezing it with a giant pair of pliers or something, or maybe even polishing down that steering shaft, but we'll figure it out. Still got plenty of room in and around the oil filter if we're going to install some supplementary oil cooling and you know, a mounting boss for our oil cooler. We still have room up there. Passenger side was super easy to get in. A lot of people with other brands of headers have complained about how big of a pain in the butt the passenger side is, but on these it was really easy. Didn't have to take the starter off, didn't have to raise the motor, didn't have to do anything. They just snaked right down in here, and it was a beautiful thing. It was really easy. But the driver's side, huge pain in the ass. We had to drop the cradle down on the bolts, and then we had to raise the motor as much as we could to create as much room as we possibly could in there. So let's get her down on the ground. And we'll fire it up and see how it sounds. Safety first, kids. Always walk directly under the car you just released the safeties on. So I see our friend Alex is watching. Alex, you recommended some heat wrap on the ignition wires earlier. If you've got a brand recommendation, if you've got something that you've used in the past and it's worked for you, you know, feel free to chime in, because this is certainly a work in progress, and any suggestions anybody has for this stuff, we are all ears. So take a look at the passenger side here. This is the side you can actually see stuff. So we didn't do really any sort of heat coating or thermal coating on the headers. I'm not saying we're never going to do that, but first priority was just to get the things in there, and then we'll worry about other details later. Oh, that's some. Hang on, let me reset this white balance. Everything freaked out. There. Okay, so you can actually kind of see them in there a little bit if we can get things to focus. Again, passenger side, really easy. 6 bolts hold the manifolds onto the heads. Remember, you are working with an aluminum motor here, so you are working with aluminum heads that you are putting bolts into. And I would recommend that you always, whenever you are doing anything with important aluminum bits, keep the proper tap around. I actually had to retap one of the bolt holes. Pulling the old header bolt out, it just, like, it felt weird coming out. It was kind of going funny on me. So I ran a tap through it. Everything was cool. But don't even start this job without a set of taps handy, because if you have them, then you're not going to need them. If you don't have them, you're going to end up having to run out in the middle of the night and get a tap or two. All right, let's get this thing all the way on the ground and get some ventilation going in here, and we will give her a fire up. So I'm certainly not the world's most gifted technician, but you know, I have fairly good facilities to work here. I have most of the equipment that you would want to do this, and I'm reasonably skilled. I'm by no means a genius, but you know, I have a fairly reasonable set of skills. And again, this was just a colossally mind-numbing pain in the ass, especially on that driver's side. It is not something I'm looking forward to doing again. Now also, you guys saw that view underneath. Now that those are in there, if you need clutch work, if you know, getting the transmission and the clutch out and the torque tube and all that, that's a big enough pain in the butt as it is. But that's not coming out with these headers in there. So if you need a clutch, you're pulling these headers back out anyway. So if you're going to be in there and you might need a clutch, that's the time to do it, because once those headers are in there, they got to come back out if you need any clutch work at all. So that's definitely a consideration. Steve wants to know if I used anti-seize putting the bolts back in. Steve, I absolutely did. Funny you should mention that. I used some CRC brand nickel anti-seize thread lubricating compound from our friends at CRC Industries. You can find all of their fine products at crcindustries.com on the web, or at fine retailers near you. So yes, I used a lot of this stuff, and I've showered since I used it, because whenever you open a can of anti-seize, 15 seconds later, your body is covered in it. There's no way to avoid that. I'm gonna go open the big door here and turn the fan around. Get some proper ventilation for the humans and the birds. So I've done most of my checks under the hood already. I'm fairly certain it's actually gonna fire up here. So I'm confident enough to put you guys behind the car here for the proper sound experience. And we'll give her a whirl. Okay, so Ian wants to know cat delete. Yeah, total cat delete. Just a 3-inch X pipe. The header is dumping right into the tubes back there. It's Florida, man. You can get away with anything here. Let's see. So Alex says that you don't need to pull the headers to do the clutch. Just unbolt them and turn away from the bell housing. Okay, yeah, I can see that. So you could probably unbolt the headers from the heads and kind of rotate them out of the way far enough to get the bell housing stuck out there. Still, I hope our quartermaster clutch lasts forever. And somebody wants to know if our shirts are available. Yes, our shirts are absolutely available on grassrootsmotorsports.com. Check them out. We also got $10 subscriptions going on right now. And what else here? Doug says design engineering for the wiring fuse. Okay, good call. They are an advertiser. Maybe we will get them involved with this project. All right, here we go. So what's the over under on this thing actually starting after me doing all the work on it? I'm going to say at least 60%. Let me rephrase. 80% that it starts, 60% that it runs on 8 cylinders. Probably measurable chance of second or third degree burn. All right, a moment or two. You guys hush. Daddy's doing a show. Not so bad, although I'm noticing now that we have a bit of a height disparity in our two exhaust tips here. We got a little bit of an uneven hang going on there, so I'll have to go and tweak that a little bit. So these are still the stock titanium mufflers. We weighed a bunch of different mufflers. These are by a long shot lighter than anybody else's mufflers out there. So we're going to stick with these for the foreseeable future. Because they are really, really light. Alright, let's give this thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm pretty okay with that. So, good, here's the good news. When it, oh boy, it smells like the county fair in here now with all that E85 burning in here. So that sounded nice. I love the sound of an X-pipe exhaust. That is a very, very pleasing, very, very smooth sound. Of course, the dyno is going to be the ultimate arbiter of whether this works or not. The numbers that we hear commonly for a set of long tube headers and a Cat Delete X-pipe, 15 to 25 horsepower. We'll see. We'll see what the 85 thinks. I'm hopefully going to the dyno in the next week or two. We'll get the thing tuned. I know we are about 30 pounds lighter with this system. This is this is the stock beefy Cat system. Check this out too. So we noticed this when we were working on this not too long ago. Look at all of the kind of different diameters of these primary tubes. The way they you know, they're rippled and bulged and neck down. It's really interesting. So, other thing about this system is it does not have the rear ports for the O2 sensors, which are just there to essentially get catalytic converter temperatures. Those can easily be turned off with a software like HP Tuners. So we'll be going through and doing that, or we'll be getting the check engine light. So that's it. Let me go over, see if we had any questions from... So, yeah, YouTube approves. So I'm going to air this out, and we will see you guys again this Wednesday. Hayward Wagner from the SCCA on the show. I'm very satisfied. I did a thing and it actually worked, but I never want to do this again. This was such a pain in the butt. If you are a mechanical professional who installs Corvette headers for a living, my hat's off to you, madam or sir, because you are doing the Lord's work. Wow, that sucks. Just not fun. I really hope these work. So, yeah, Doug wants to know, when are we going to bring that out to a NASA TT event? I was looking at the schedule, actually. I think there's, like, I'm so booked up for the summer, but I think there was a Sebring event, like, in November, like a really late season Sebring event. I'm actually looking at coming down to that one, because I've not been to a NASA event in quite some time. Guy wants to know, does it meet decibel requirements? That is a great question. That is one of the reasons we're leaving the stock mufflers on there for now, and we'll find out soon enough. I'll be doing a little bit of testing before we do that. Obviously, this is in an enclosed garage. It's going to be there's a lot more sound bouncing around in here, but I have a hard time thinking that with stock mufflers on there, we're not going to be at least close. That didn't sound like we had anything too horrible going on there. So yeah, we're Alex. We are running the stock titanium mufflers. We actually weighed a couple of different aftermarket exhaust setups. I don't want to mention the brands right now, but the closest one, the closest exhaust to stock was like 22 pounds heavier, and that's just for the rear section. So these titanium mufflers, that's a significant. You know, I'm not just going to bolt, unless it makes a ton of horsepower, adding 25, 28, 30 pounds for some of these things behind the rear wheels, you know, outside of the wheelbase, that doesn't sound like a great option to me. So, you know, I'm hoping the flow trade-off will be worth the weight savings. So that's what I know. All right, and we are hoping, yeah, Alex says high 90s for dB readings, and Greg, we will get in touch with DEI for some of that heat shielding. Awesome, guys. I gotta get out of here. We'll see you on Wednesday for the regular show. Thanks for joining us. Glad we got to commit this to memory, so we have a startup, and we have a running vehicle. I cannot wait to get to the dyno. I cannot wait to get this thing back out on track and hear all those fantastic sounds from the best seat in the house, which is behind the steering wheel. All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you again. Bye.